Hello and a very warm welcome. You're watching an India Today special broadcast. I'm Rahul Kamal. Over the last 48 hours, we've been inundated by questions around the big India Today Access My India post-poll study. So what we've done is we've condensed all those questions into 10 critical FAQs, frequently asked questions. And over the next 1 hour, I'll be joined by some of the sharpest political minds, and we look at the data processed by the India Today Data Intelligence Unit to try and make sense of some of these questions. So what are the kind of questions you can expect will be answered over the next 1 hour? Have we witnessed a Hindu awakening in West Bengal? Why did the Congress's performance in the assembly elections not roll over into the Lok Sabha elections? Are Muslims India's most unified vote bank? If jobs is the biggest issue, how did unemployed voters cast their mandate in this election? Why did the caste arithmetic of the SP-BSP fail according to the exit poll? If agrarian distress was such a big issue, how did farmers and those associated with agriculture vote in 2019? Why did the caste arithmetic of SP-BSP fail? Was the BJP able to build a bigger social coalition? What does the BJP's new vote bank look like? Remember, this is a party that was initially perceived as being a Banya traders party. Has it been able to rework what lies at the core of the BJP voter engine? So those questions and more will be answered by the India Today Data Intelligence team over the next 1 hour through the insights that we've picked up from the India Today Access My India post-poll study. Let me introduce to you the guests joining us for this broadcast. I want to start with the most important person who put this entire post-poll study together, Pradeep Gupta, lead cephalogist for Access My India. I don't see the helmet on his head, but I'm sure he's carrying one, because the entire opposition of this country is gunning for this man if he gets his exit poll numbers.
India Today is my helmet.
India Today is a helmet. Well said, sir. Well said. Okay, so he wants to get the helmet smashed first. Okay, with us also is GVL Narasimha Rao, one-time cephalogist. He's been looking at all the data that Pradeep has got out and saying that this is such lovely data, I can present it. He wants to return back to his cephalogist hat. We're saying, hey, who knows? You could be minister soon if the data comes out to be true. So he's not counting on that just yet. Manisha Priyam joins us as well. To my right, I want to introduce Professor Sandeep Shastri from Jain University, Lok Niti. Flanking him, one of India's most renowned political scientists, Professor Mahesh Rangarajan. And the young man to his right could have been a student, but is a member of India Today's Data Intelligence Unit. Samarth Bansal. He's helped me in putting together the answers to these questions. So let's start with question number 1. Are we witnessing a Hindu awakening in West Bengal according to the results of the India Today Access My India poll? Remember, the BJP always felt that in Bengal, the Hindu identity was subsumed. It's a state that seems strong class polarization, with the left parties being strong over there, but they never really had the Hindu identity up front, at least not in recent years. It happened much earlier when there was partition, communal riots, but not recently. Has that happened? I want to take you through the results of the India Today Access My India data for West Bengal, which really brings this out. If you look at the Muslim voters of West Bengal, 65% of the Muslim voters have voted for the Trinamool Congress. That's 6 out of 10. Look at the non-minority vote. The BJP, according to our poll, picks up about 57% of the SC vote, the Dalit vote in a state where Dalits are in big numbers, and 53% of the OBC and general category vote, which are the Hindu votes. Therefore, Pradeep Gupta, it would not be wrong to say that your data suggests that there has been some kind of a Hindu awakening, that the BJP's attempt to stir the communal cauldron, that make Hindus more aware of their Hindu identity, get them to think as Hindus first, is working in their favor, at least.
It's a multiple thing, of course, including Hindu and Muslim impact, but there are other things as well. If you see carefully, our vote share for TMC and for the BJP, it is 41% for the both, and in fact in last general election, TMC secured 40%, so it is an increase for them, but BJP is gaining very large number of vote share on account of CPM left parties. They secured last time 25%. Now they are sitting about 5%. So That is
They've
the one
fallen
of the
to a
case.
fifth of where they were.
Yes.
It's interesting, Mahesh Rangarajan, that we're seeing the left voter switch from the left side of the political spectrum to the right. Is that a big jump in a state like West Bengal?
Except the minority votes. We also asked last time whom you voted for. Most of the minority who voted for CPM last time, they switched to TMC or retained or switched to the Congress. But as far as Hindu voters is concerned, large number of them shifted to BJP.
No, I think if you go back, Bengal had a two-party system or a two-front system. And in 84, following assassination of Srimati Indira Gandhi, Congress had won 17 seats, but they were not able to retain it. There is a very important point, and it has emerged very well in this survey. Bengal has got a very large number of Dalits. And among scheduled castes, there is a very important group, the Namashudras. And these are groups who earlier had been with Congress and gone to left. And I think in the recent past, there is a transformation. Now remember, these are groups which have a very deep religiosity, no matter whether they're with Congress or with left. So I think this growth of BJP is that there is a vacuum in Bengal. Left is collapsing, Congress is not reviving. Mamata Banerjee's party has now been in power for 9-10 years almost. It has been the dominant force for a decade. And I think the BJP has come with a certain amount of energy which a cadre-based party has. So TMC, which is a new version of the Congress party, has never faced a cadre party. CPM has disappeared. So somewhere I think this is a very significant...
No, but can I argue just for a moment, GVL Narasimha Rao, this may be successful electorally but is very dangerous politics, because West Bengal is one state that has seen very, very violent, bloody communal riots. The moment the communal chasm is widened, this could burst to the fore in very ugly fashion.
Rahul, the blame for any communal tension should entirely be laid at the doorstep of the TMC, not the BJP. This is not a Hindu awakening. This is a Hindu reaction to aggressive appeasement and very vulgar appeasement of the minorities by the Mamata Banerjee government. I think in West Bengal, you have not seen the communal divisions like they were evident in the Hindi belt states. For several decades, these divisions have been visible. But West Bengal as a society, these divisions were never visible, only because TMC had aggressively indulged in appeasement. I think this has come as a reaction.
Now we've seen Sandeep Shastri, the BJP do this successfully in Uttar Pradesh against Akhilesh Yadav. They made the same point, that in the Muslim areas, bijli aati hai, non-Muslim areas mein bijli nahi aati, VIP areas mein aati hai, non-aati. They did it against Tarun Gogoi in Assam, where they did pretty much the same thing, that this is a government of the minorities. Whether you call it a Hindu awakening or consolidation of the Hindu vote bank, they've achieved it elsewhere. It seems to be working in West Bengal as well, according to this data.
Rahul, I think if we were to explain the success of the BJP in West Bengal on this factor of the Hindu vote and Hindu awakening, I think we would be doing injustice to what's happening in West Bengal, because I think it is a factor and not the factor. Correct. I think there are multiple factors playing a role here in the way the BJP is rising in West Bengal. And even if you go by the statistics of 57%, 53%, you still are talking of a big chunk of 40+% not being with the BJP. So you cannot talk of a revival where, while a majority of a group, a community may be with the BJP, I don't think it in that sense constitutes a revival. I would see more as the BJP providing a platform for various forces which were not comfortable with the way the TMC was going about its politics, including supporters of the Congress and left and the traditional supporters of the BJP, all coming together now in this election.
It is essentially an invocation of the Hindu identity around the idea of the Trinamool's appeasement, and therefore you've been able to get a lot of the traditional voters of the left, Manisha Priyam, to switch over the ideological spectrum. But how does this happen? That I grew up as a left supporter, I've been reading Marx and Lenin as I grew up, and I'm happy to switch to the BJP. How does that work, Manisha Priyam?
So if you try and understand Bengal in terms of there being a metropolitan capital of the idea of Bengal in Kolkata, and if you see the rural parts, you'll find that the Hindu identity card is playing far stronger in the rural areas where there have been, remember the partition of India on the side of Punjab and in West Bengal have been two different kind of things. On this side, there has been a porous border. the same issue of Bangladeshi infiltrators that has worked in Assam in favor of the BJP led there by Hemanta Biswa Sarma, that's something that's working in the rural areas, because here very poor Hindus live along with very poor Muslims, and the noises I get to hear, for example, in the Ganga Sagar area, for example, there's somebody called the Kapil Muni who's supposed to have his ashram there. So I hear from many rural women who were supporters of the CPM. Now these were not women who had read Karl Marx or anybody else, but the rumor there is that it is Kapil Muni who saved us at the time of the Titli cyclone also, but now we are in danger.
Okay.
And I'm not going to, no, you're going to give me 1 second more. So what I find, the rural arguments are far more Hindu, they are not nuanced, but the ones that are coming from Kolkata are saying, look, there's too much happening from the TMC, we wanted to oppose the syndicate, there were many other things that the Mamata government was doing, so our anti-CPM, anti-TMC vote is now a pro-BJP vote. So difference between the rural and the urban, I think a far more Hindu sympathy in rural parts of West Bengal, and here, to the BJP's credit, they have not less than 50 offices there. So who was stopping the CPM or the Congress party from opening these offices? Now the rural poor also say that the BJP is here if the TMC goons come back today or tomorrow, the BJP is there to protect us. So these are the arguments. I think there is a difference between the arguments as far as rural West Bengal is concerned, which wasn't a Marxist-Leninist idea really, but that of cadre-held, party-held, rural masses.
So I want to come now to the second question that we're going to take on the show, where we are addressing your FAQs around India Today's exit poll. Are Muslims India's most united vote bank? So let's put the numbers on our screen right now. We're looking at different states and the percentage of the Muslim vote that's gone in favor of different parties and alliances. I'll start with Uttar Pradesh, where 76% of the Muslim vote has gone to the Mahagathbandhan, that's the SP and the BSP. In West Bengal, 78% of the Muslim vote has gone to the Trinamool Congress. In Bihar, 79% of the Muslim vote has gone to the RJD and the Congress. In Jharkhand, 80% has gone to the JMM Congress, Babulal Marandi alliance. In Maharashtra, 75% to the NCP Congress. In Karnataka, 87% to the JDS and the Congress. In Assam, 71%. In Kerala, 59% to the Congress and 43% to the others, which is mostly the LDF. Samarth Bansal, you looked at the level of consolidation amongst other communities as well. Are Muslims more consolidated than other communities?
So Rahul, what we find is that across states, this it's not, for instance, we see that in Bihar, there's a high consolidation with the Congress UPA, but when you go to West Bengal, the party that the Muslims are supporting changes. So a bulk of the vote goes to Trinamool. So it's not loyal to a particular party, but in a given state, the anti-BJP party that is in majority, that's getting the majority, that is where a high proportion of Muslim vote goes to that particular.
No, but let's look at the numbers. 76 in UP, 78 in West Bengal in favor of the Trinamool, 79% in Bihar in favor of the RJD Congress. Pradeep Gupta, these are higher levels of consolidation amongst any community in the country. So it is correct to say that Muslims are amongst the most unified community, and they voted again. They voted for whoever they thought was best placed to beat the BJP.
That's true, 100% true. Not a single % doubt on this. Not a single. Across the country, this is the phenomenon.
But what we are saying, Rahul Srivastav, the BJP do then is, they are saying, okay, put this Muslim vote on the side, whatever it may be, 15% in some state, 20 on the other, we'll get the rest of the 80 or we'll try and target them. So they are attempting, just electorally, to make the Muslim community virtually irrelevant to their plan, saying, diya nahi diya, aap to waise nahi deta, hum waise hi jeet jayenge, chodo.
Yes, in precise, Rahul, what Samarth said has a point, that Muslims are gravitating towards a party which is in best position to beat the BJP. But if that party does not have a core vote bank of its own, then comes the trouble. The BJP in 2014 and 2017 very successfully did it in UP, that by uniting the non-Jatav Dalits, the non-Yadav OBCs, the MBCs and the upper caste, created a kind of a Hindu monolith which was difficult to beat even if all the Muslims united vote for
So now Shama
else.
Mohammed of the Congress is also with us. Now the problem with the opposition in the past having relied so heavily on the minority vote as the Congress has done is that there is a backlash from the others, which is the majority community, and they're saying, okay, let them vote for the opposition, we can vote for the BJP. That is problematic at different levels. It makes the minority community virtually irrelevant to the electoral conversation in this country. They're saying, okay, we can win without you. So some of this appeasement politics is having a blowback which can be seen in this post-poll study. Shama Mohammed.
See, Rahul, I don't think there has been any sort of appeasement politics, and this sort of majoritism can happen for some time, but it cannot be continuously and constantly. I mean, if you look at how you're saying that in West Bengal, I was just listening to, I think, Mr. GVL, he said that the Hindus are rising against the TMC, you know. But what I've seen of West Bengal politics for ages is that the politics of West Bengal has always been bloody. It has always been a lot of violence. When there was CPM also there, and then the TMC came in, it has had a history of violent politics. And let's not forget that CPM is known for violent politics. It is also known, I mean, it is known for, and the reaction we see also in Kerala, the similar case. Now you have also a huge Muslim population there. You have a very strong RSS in Kerala, but why is the polarization not happening there? They've been trying for a long time. So I think one important thing is that literacy works.
What do you think is at play? Are we seeing the minorities? They're clearly not present in the BJP's game plan. They never say so publicly. But when they are strategizing at the back end, they're saying they're discounting the 15-20% Muslim population and saying, okay, we'll try and win with the rest of the 80.
Yeah, this 14.2% as per last census, there are, I would say, differences in different parts of India. In much of southern India, the major parties which have mobilized Muslims, qua Muslims, are openly sectarian. The Majlis-e-Ittihad al-Muslimin in the Hyderabad pocket, and of course the IUML in Kerala. But by and large in South India, you will find that they will be aligned either with regional parties or Congress. And this is related to the fact levels of education, employment are very different, particularly in Tamil Nadu and to an extent in Kerala. My sense in North India is different. I think up to 89-90, Congress is seen as a protector of what were called the Garib and the Pichda. Now this is a claim they made. I'm not saying their record was fantastic, but whether it was Dalits, minorities and large sections of poor, they were gravitating to Congress, particularly after late 60s. They ascended in 89-90. We know that in this era of the Mandir Masjid politics, SP, BSP, RJD, Janata Dal came up in a big way. But I think there's something very important we should point out about BJP also. See, in many states, Muslims are on the OBC list. BJP has not denied them that. In fact, in many states, including in Bihar, where they've held power, the OBC Muslims are on the list. Second, Professor Shastri can correct me, if you look at the last election in UP, it's very interesting. The Muslim vote percentage of BJP went up from 4 to 11%. Now, the qualitative evidence was very interesting. Many of those who had voted for, they were a minority, but 11 is much larger than 4, said 8, it doubled. They said it's not our job to stop the BJP every time. We will look at every party in terms of its record in power. So I am a little hesitant whether Muslims act unifiedly, and I would argue that in any case, they are not a majority anywhere, except in a very few constituencies in the country. This 14% adds on to the one who's winning. And often they go with the person who assures not only physical security, but addresses certain issues.
But should the BJP not do more, GVL, in trying to win over the Muslims? For example, giving more tickets to Muslim candidates, trying to actually aggressively win them over instead of discounting them and fighting your elections?
No, Rahul, I think you have seen a certain competitive appeasement politics being played out by so-called secular parties. In the name of secularism, you have seen how secularism has actually been murdered in this country. Appeasement was considered secularism. If you go to Kolkata, you will see Mamata Banerjee in hoardings, in a particular attire only to appease a particular community. She would stop Durga idol immersion only to appease. This is very, very bad politics, bad optics. It is because of that there is a reaction in the other communities. We are not doing anything to consolidate Hindus. We would like to have...
Your answer doesn't answer my question. I'm saying, what are you doing to try and win over the minority?
No, I think they will. Today, you are talking about Muslim vote being a non-factor. I see a spate of articles in media today. Oh, they have been so important, they could dictate everything. They determine the political outcomes. This time they are irrelevant. I think they will have to realize that it is in their interest to not go for parties which have only appeased them and not offered them anything in return. BJP has not made any distinction, discrimination as far as governance is concerned. Cite one policy. Cite
But
one
is
program.
that enough, Manisha Prem, to
So
get
I think
minorities to
the
vote?
community also has to undergo a change of heart. We are open. We will give as many tickets as we can really make them win.
So
It's a community that also has to start thinking.
No, here I'd like to differ and say somewhat many nuanced pictures. In Lucknow, for example, Kalbe Jawad offered open support to Rajnath Singh ji.
Yes.
Rajnath Singh ji went and met Kalbe Sadiq. This wasn't just the Shia votes. Rajnath Singh ji also went to the Nadwa. So these three pictures were in my heart as I saw the Lucknow campaign. Not one word of communal disharmony. And that campaign should be really a picture-perfect campaign that I saw. I'm so happy to see it this way.
Sandeep Shastri.
No, just one more.
No, we need
one
to step
more.
it up. We need to
yeah,
move
I know,
fast.
so I
Okay.
get less time. So in Patna, for example, many Muslim students telling me that last time around in 2014, they had voted the BJP. And that was what my instinct was at that point of time. But they said that it seemed over the last 5 years, 4.5 years, that the Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas simply excluded us and included everybody else. It's for the BJP to reach out now.
I think the data clearly shows that the Muslim community, large segments of it, are strategically voting for those parties which are seen as being able to defeat the BJP. I think there is sufficient evidence to show this point. And they also make a difference between which of those parties is able to, if there is a choice, they would choose the one which they feel is most likely to defeat the BJP. I'll make another point, and this is not just the BJP, it's about all parties. At one level, we say that representation to this community should be based upon the winnability of the candidates. Now, I have often believed this winnability is quite a vacuous term. And at the end of the day, a party can define and decide the winnability of candidates. So, is that a mask that a lot of parties use in order not to put up a candidate of that kind?
I want to slip into a break. When we come back, if unemployment was such a big issue, then how did the jobless in India vote? Who did they vote for according to the post-poll analysis done by India Today and Access My India? Also, what about the caste arithmetic of the SP, BSP? Why is it that the SP, BSP together haven't been able to garner a vote share which would be an aggregate of their individual votes? So obviously somewhere the caste arithmetic hasn't worked. We have that and a lot more on this special broadcast. This is the kind of high quality structured conversation and insights which you won't get on any other network. We're slipping into a break. We'll have a lot more for you when we come back on the other side. Stay with us.
Thanks for watching the video. For more such news and updates, please like, share and subscribe to India Today. Also check out our other great videos from our channel. We know you will love to.